After 80 plus years as a professional football franchise, the Washington Redskins are finally going to drop their racist name. And it's really for one reason only. This is Locked In with Loki.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Hold on to your family. Lay low.
My family has been ardent Washington Redskins fans since at least 1941. My grandfather was there at the game that Sunday, December 7th, when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. In fact, his grave marker even says, "Hail Victory." I remember the glory days of the 80s when Washington was beating everyone, especially Dallas. My grandfather went to all the games when he was in town. We were season ticket holders. And when he was finally too frail to go, the team even sent him a card. In the film The Uncomfortable Truth, I mentioned that my mother didn't know that the N-word was a bad word until she was 13 years old. She said it was as common as dirt. I thought that was unfathomable, but no one ever told her. In all honesty, I didn't know was a bad word because no one told me. All of my friends were fans, except for the oddballs that liked the Giants or the Cowboys, and my parents never told me, and I never thought to ask. I had associated the name with the team, and surely a corporation in America wouldn't use racist iconography, right? Daniel Snyder famously said in 2013, "We'll never change the name. It's that simple. Never. You can use caps." Well, the times, they are a-changing. Now, don't think for a moment that Daniel Snyder is suddenly woke. The fact of the matter is he's a capitalist, and the only color he truly cares about is green. But when FedEx said that if they didn't change the team name, that they would pull $45 million off the table and cancel the deal, well, that got his attention. And pretty soon, other sponsors followed. Nike even said they weren't going to sell his merchandise in their stores anymore. But why did FedEx and Nike suddenly see the light? It's not as if these protests haven't been going on for years. Well, just like Daniel Snyder, they don't like to lose money either. According to ESPN, a letter signed by 87 investors and shareholders with a total net worth of $622 billion was sent to sponsors FedEx, Pepsi, and Nike, asking them to stop doing business with the team unless the name was changed. Boycotts are a great vehicle against oppression in a capitalist society. It worked in the civil rights movement, and it's working today. No longer can corporations just throw out glorified statements of "we believe in diversity and inclusion" without actually practicing what they preach. Businesses and employees that oppress just isn't going to fly anymore. Starbucks figured that out pretty quickly. Goya seems to be taking his time. On our podcast, The Uncomfortable Truth, we have an episode about bankrupting racism, where you can learn more about boycotts. Will Daniel Snyder admit his mistake? Not likely. But the fact is, the name is going to change. Now, this doesn't mean racism is over. It's just one little step, but all these little steps add up. Integrating schools didn't integrate the buses. Integrating the buses didn't integrate the lunch counters. But each step required action, and they all led to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Now, for those who might be thinking that this is just a bunch of nonsense and political correctness running amok, understand that just because you don't think it's racist doesn't mean it's not racist. Remember, when I was a kid, I had no idea that it was a racist name because no one told me. However, when I finally learned many years later that it was offensive, I stopped supporting the team because I believe that we should treat each other the way we want to be treated. Now, perhaps, I can root for the team once more. Hail Victory.
Oh.